Hi guys, I'm Nicky Romero and we're here in Philadelphia with Magic Rapid Productions. Ciao.
Hey, it's another Q&A, and right now I have world-renowned DJ and producer Nicky Romero. Nicky, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How was your ride into Philly?
Was pretty easy. It was one of the shorter flights we had so far,
Okay.
so we're lucky. We're just enjoying Philly right now.
Oh, nice.
One of my friends just had like this cheesesteak burger, which I'm really jealous at.
Yes.
I want to try.
Which
So,
you are going to try later on tonight.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. If someone guides me to the right spot, the whole team is gonna have one tonight.
There you go. We get it. Yeah, you know what? I'll take you to Pat's after this. After
That's
the show,
deal.
we'll go to
That's
Pat's.
That's the deal.
For those that don't know you, that are getting into the whole the dance scene and everything, explain to them what Nicky Romero is about.
Well, Nicky Romero is about first of all, I started off 4 years ago, and I was a drummer, and I never really had the intention to be a DJ or producer at all. It just happened kind of, and I just made music, and I worked in a small bar, and the name was Scoop. That was the name at the time, and I had to like clean the floors and hang the jackets and all this. I had to do bar. Actually, I had to do everything, and. I just wanted to try to DJ, and that went up like really fast. So I started with Thursdays, and then Fridays I started to produce my own music, and from that moment on, I had my first release in 2009 called Function One on the label of Gregor Salto. He was a Dutch guy, very very cool guy. And then after that, everything went pretty fast. I had a song called Toulouse not too long after, like 1 or 2 years later. And that was picked up by a lot of DJs. It didn't score really high in Beatport in the first place, but I think it got to 2 or something.
Okay.
But still now it's one of my biggest tunes. Somehow, that tune has something also with the mask, and people started wearing the mask. And from that moment, everything went pretty fast. I did collaborations with Nervo, Avicii, David Guetta, Fedde Le Grand, Calvin Harris, Rihanna. I produced a song for Rihanna. I don't know. I worked with Zed. I don't know. There's a lot going on at the moment.
I know. See, you got a pretty good roster right there. Yeah. And speaking about good rosters, you also have a label, Protocol Recordings.
Right. That's right.
You have John Dahlback, Corella, Calvin Harris, Nervo. Great roster right there. What is your main goal with your label?
That's a good question. I feel there are so many labels out there right now, especially if you look at like the independent labels and the major labels, especially the major labels, they have a lot of power and a lot of influence in the scene. I wanted to be different. I wanted to have my own brand. I wanted to be able to push the artists I'd like to push. I wanted to create a platform for talent that didn't have the chance to have a proper release yet. So next to myself, I'd like to release music of young producers that are just starting out, and most of the time that means that I work on their tune as well. So they'll send me music, and I like the original idea, and then I take the parts and I say, hey, I think if you do this, that, and that, and that, or I add something myself, and I don't add my own name to it. I just like to have their name on the release. So I just use the brand Protocol really for like new talent, which means Protocol Recordings, Protocol Radio, all that stuff. It's just it's just there to brand my own music, but also to create new talent.
Awesome. And I also noticed that on Protocol Radio you also, I guess, kind of do the new artist of the week or the new artist feature.
Yeah.
And I think one time you had Cash on there, and I see on how they're moving and growing too.
Super cool guys.
Definitely. I do get this question a lot, and a lot of people do ask me, why do I even bother with dance music, playing it, here on the radio in Philadelphia? Because a lot of people seem to feel like, DJs, producers, everybody in the dance world don't really care about getting radio spins because, you guys are very successful with own productions, festivals, everything you do in between. That radio is kind of just like, what's the reason for it? Do you feel like this is true, or?
No, I'm honestly, I think a little different. I think it's important that every small asset in your career adds something to your profile. So even though you play the biggest festivals, even though you have the biggest collaborations, radio play is necessary because it will it will reach a different audience than the people on the festival. Sometimes if people walk into their car, they just did groceries or something, and they switch on Sirius XM here, and they'll hear your song, it's never going to be the same audience that that are going to be in the front row for a festival. So it's very important that you respect and and kind of pay attention to the audience that you don't have yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes I feel like maybe if a song grows organically, because I mean, not every song that you make or anybody makes may be ready for radio, but
No,
if something
for sure.
just grows, like you know, Avicii, the levels just
Yeah.
blew up overnight.
But Avicii is a different producer. I mean, he is very, very talented with melodies,
Mm-hmm.
and he is very good in making songs that suit the radio well.
Yes.
And I started out as I never had the intention to be on the radio. I just wanted to make the music that I like. And if it works on the radio, then it works on the radio. But it's not a main purpose that I'm going to sit down in my studio and make a record like this is going to be on the radio. It happens or it doesn't happen. And I think same thing for Avicii, but his style is more accessible for, for the people that are not only into EDM. So he'll make, like a song with like country influences that I really love though. It's really an amazing song talking about Wake Me Up.
Yes.
But that would suit radio more than, for example, my record called Symphonica. And, but I don't care. I mean, sometimes it works on the radio, like Home or something like that, maybe Legacy, and I Could Be the One.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the records don't, and they stick just in the underground scene, and I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned Legacy, because last year I got to interview a talented group of 3 musicians I don't think the world was ready to hear yet, and now you can't even get near them. I'm talking about Cruella.
Yeah.
What stuck out about them that you wanted to get them on your Protocol Recordings imprint?
I think first of all, they're amazing people. They're very, very nice people, all 3 of them. And also their manager is a super nice guy, Jake. I spoke to him in Miami, I remember. And we were like, maybe we should do something together. They have a fan base that, that are like more, let's say, it's like a little bit out of the EDM scene as well. So it's kind of the rocky feeling. Mm-hmm. And I like the toughness, the rockness, of those people. So, and also I really do like the way they present themselves as like more alternative stuff, and I don't know, and they're just very, very nice people. So, and they're super talented.
Definitely, and I mean, and it comes out on the record you guys to have together, Legacy.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that song? Because I mean, the lyrics, they're powerful, but with the way the composition, the melody, it also seems kind of like spooky and scary at the same time, or like sad. It's 2 elements there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the record itself was already not like, it was not a happy tune. It was just a tune that, it has like a mean or maybe a serious tone in it. Mm-hmm. And they added something like that on top of the song already, you know what I mean? So they added the vocal like that, exactly like that, which I loved. I mean, sometimes it's a good feeling, like I Could Be the One for us was a really happy tune, and Like Home was more about feeling like home, was also a serious song, but also still a happy song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, this one was more like a little darker, and I like to switch it up sometimes.
Definitely. You mentioned You Could Be the One. Avicii, good friend of yours. Mm-hmm. The whole Nick Tim thing, people want to know. This is actually a question from one of my fans. I mean, are we going to expect some more collaborations with you and Avicii?
Well, I mean, we're open to work for the next, I think it's going to be in January. We have some studio stuff planned. And it depends a little bit on his schedule and on my schedule. He's a busy guy,
Yeah.
And we tour a lot. I would love to make the follow-up. We have some ideas ready already, so there are some ideas ready, but I don't have an exact tune in mind that this is going to be the follow-up. But yeah, we're working on some stuff, and hopefully we'll get that out next year.
Oh, definitely. So, the fans, keep calm.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Nerd question. Favorite DAW, favorite plugin, favorite piece of hardware?
Starting off with?
DAW.
I'm working with Logic right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to switch to Logic X, which is I've not succeeded yet. Somehow I miss the feeling of Logic a little bit, like the old Logic. I'm trying to work on my Ableton skills because I like the way that it works, and I like the fast, everything that it works. I know a lot of friends of mine use Ableton, and they work so much faster than the people in Logic. Even though I finish a tune sometimes in one day, they can finish something in 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just not doable for me. Same for Fruity Loop stuff, like Avicii, I Could Be the One record, we made that one in 6 hours. So for the people, to know, that's really fast. Yeah, so Logic 9 Pro for me now.
Okay. Plugin.
That's, of course, Kickstart, because I just released my own plugin.
Oh, nice.
And it's called Kickstart. We released it yesterday. So.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it's a collaboration with Cable Guys. It's a really simple sidechain plugin that makes sidechaining very easy and also allows you to use it as an effect.
Oh, nice. So, go get that.
Kickstart.
kickstart, and piece of hardware?
That's a hard question. I would say I'd like the UAD stuff. So everything that that they do sounds amazing. Like everything sounds so analog, and on top of that, I have to add the Moog because I have the little fatty, and I love the sound of that one.
Nice. Serious question. With Izu getting shut down the last day due to drug overdoses, and let's not even cover it up. Everybody associates EDM dance scene festivals with Molly consumption, yada yada yada. Do you think that there's anything that the industry needs to push forward and kind of separate themselves from the stigma?
It's a hard question. I mean, the atmosphere here in the States is a little different than in Europe. Like in Europe, the drugs and that kind of stuff are a little bit more accepted and a little bit more part of the, like the party industry. So people will never really take too much. You know what I mean? I think here people, I won't say new, but it's kind of new. You know what I mean? So people will they think it's cool to take Molly. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of drugs myself. So the people that do it, I totally respect them, and I know that a lot of my fans, sometimes take some of this, some of that, and if that makes them a happier person, I'm totally fine as long as they don't put themselves in danger by taking 6 of them or 5. I think the health and the that your condition is the most important thing. So as soon as you feel like you're exceeding more than like the healthy way of taking anything, then I'm not a big fan. But if you want to take something and you think it makes you feel bad on a festival, I think it's totally your own responsibility. But shutting down a festival because of that, I totally respect it because people die, but at the same time there are tons of people that bought tickets who don't take drugs at all, so they're being affected by something like this. And I think it's a hard question, but something that the government should look at here.
Definitely, and just it would just hate to see EDC or something else get shut down
exactly,
for the last day.
Just because someone took like 6 or 5, it's really sad that this person did this, and I don't know why he would actually do that. But you cannot blame, you cannot affect thousands and thousands of people because someone made a mistake, and that's the only thing I want to say.
Yes. So if you're a bad apple, stay away from the rest of the tree because everybody wants to have fun.
There you go.
Lastly, what's next for Nicky? Are you going to see a studio album or anything in the works?
Yes, I'm working on an album right now. Honestly, I've not had a lot of time in the last 6 months to produce because I toured like crazy. I only toured. I just made some songs in the beginning of this year, but I'm going to take off November for the most part, and a big part of October just to make music. I just have a new studio which I'm very excited for to use. There's going to be a new studio video. So we did like the first studio tour in the old studio. There's going to be a follow-up which is going to be live.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to explain everything in my studio, show one of the new tunes, a new plugin, all that in the new studio update. So that's going to follow as well. Next to that, I'm working on some collaborations. I'm working on a few songs for other big pop artists. I've been working on a new song, one follow-up of Metropolis with Guetta, and I'm working on some stuff with Tommy Trash, and there's a lot more to follow. I have one with Eva Simons coming up.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Nice, and I'm excited to hear it. This is Nicky Romero, Beatstreet, and we'll see you next time.
Check.
Awesome.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.